Alright, let's all settle down by the campfire for a bit, because I have a story to tell. If you just want to see the route, timestamps are on the screen right now and in the description. But with this route, I want to talk about our history for a second. Back in what I can only refer to as the Bronze Age of speedrunning, our Bastion routes were, questionable. Basically every route in the game was figure out where the gold is, dig a small hole next to it, and pray. So, Bridge posed a really unique challenge at the time. Everyone quickly realized that our options were to either bring the piglins to the chalice, or bring the chalice to the piglins. Even though the very first routes all stayed in this main bridge area, we eventually discovered the importance of triple chests, and started to look for routes that could easily reach them. One of the most memorable routes for me was one where you make your way up into this hallway, drop down, break this block, anger the pigs, and throw gold. I distinctly remember booting up a world and trying this route for the first time, and being utterly amazed that I could get around like 6 or 7 pigs. Unfortunately, this route, like many others, became obsolete as better and better routes were developed. But that all brings me to today, in 2026, where I was once again reminded of this route by none other than Ludwig. Ludwig had challenged Feinberg to a match, and as entertaining as that was to watch, I couldn't stop thinking about the route that he used here in Bridge. As he was fumbling around with what I can only assume was a completely unplanned route, I was once again reminded of that old route from like 5 years ago. Even now, if both sides of the Bastion are single chests, top runners prefer to go to this side specifically to use this hole. It gets the trade starting way faster than any other route on Bridge, and it always feels very safe to pull off. So if this trading hole is so fast, then how come no one uses it when it's a triple? Most likely, this is due to the fact that if the triple is buried, there's literally no way to access the trading hole. But when it's not buried, this trading hole gets just about the same number of pigs as autofunnel and lets you start trading significantly faster. Even the free time that you get from autofunnel is made up because if a pig is standing right here, they'll see the gold in the hole and automatically funnel into it. I'll talk about this later. So, despite this trading hole being overlooked for what has to be around 5 or 6 years, after doing some testing and some comparing, I do believe it's worth going for over autofunnel. There's even the added benefit of not having to make this 3-block jump, which I've missed more times than I'd like to admit. With all of that out of the way, I'm going to showcase this route in full speed, and then talk about some of the more important details afterwards. Also, despite who this was inspired by, this is quite a mechanically challenging route, and I don't recommend this first part for beginners. I'm working on a much easier version of this route for all the new people joining MCSR, but I haven't tested it out that much, and so it's not ready to be shown. For now though, this is the Mogul hole. First things first, the beginning of this route was not developed by me whatsoever, and is well known in the community as the Soog Route, developed by Silver and Dugile. Links to both of their channels are in the description, even though most of you already know who they are. Because there are so many new people getting into MCSR right now, I'm going to give a quick tutorial going over the Soog Route, just for those who need it. I'm going to be giving a few helpful tips for this route, so even if you've already seen it, it might still be worth watching. But for those of you who already feel comfortable with the route, you can skip to the timestamp on screen for the trading hole section. If not, we start by gathering all the gold from the chalice, making a golden helmet, crafting the rest into ingots, and leaving 1 gold block. If there are any hoglins in the way, you can just do the flint and steel trick to negate all the knockback and run straight through them. For now, I'll turn off the hoglins in the settings just to give an example. Once we get to this part of the Bastion, we're going to go to the left side and build up 3 on this exact block. Next, we're going to bridge out 2 blocks here, jump over, place a gold block on this, stand on it, and then break it. We have to stand on it because otherwise it can sometimes go into the lava. After you've broken the gold block, you should wait here for around half a second to let all the piglins come closer to you, that way you can jump over them. You don't have to, but as an extra safety measure, when you're jumping back here, you should throw a piece of gold very high and to your left. This gives you a little bit more time to build the staircase and get to the triple. The worst case scenario is you lose one trade, so I think it's worth doing this no matter what, because the part after this is very difficult and there's a very small time window. So you'll jump and throw a piece of gold onto this stack, then you'll place a new block right here, or anywhere else really, and then you have to build a double stack right here. This is very important, so make sure that your double stack is on this block. After that, you'll make a staircase, and then as soon as you finish the staircase, you're going to make an L shape towards you like this. If you mess up anywhere here, you can always throw one more piece of gold behind you to keep the pigs away. After that, we're going to place one block here, and then another L shape, but upside down this time, like this. Next, we're going to break this block right here, the one above us next to the basalt, and then make a run for it. That whole sequence is really difficult, so if you ever feel like you might not have done it fast enough, there's a really good chance that when you break this block, a piglin will fall on your head, so always be ready to throw gold when you're at this point. As you're running, if you make it to this part fast enough, you actually don't have to throw any gold, but just to be safe, once you reach this basalt block, you can throw one directly up, and that keeps you safe from anyone that's over here. Next, you'll drop down and place a block as soon as you land, break this block, quickly jump over to this ledge, break a gold block, and throw gold as soon as you possibly can into the trading hole. The quicker you can start throwing gold, the less likely a piglin will be able to hit you from the side. Once all of the triple chest piglins have made it down to this part, you can feel safe to throw all of your crafted gold into the hole and start looting the chests. In order for the auto-funneling to work, you have to stand in line or behind these triple chests so that piglins down here will run into the corner and see the gold. There is a very small chance that some piglins won't have line of sight of the gold when standing here, so if you're playing for auto-funnel, it might be a good idea to place this block right here before looting any chests. Piglins can't usually make this jump up anyways, but even if they could, they would instantly see the gold and jump right into the pit. I found that as long as you're on these stairs right here, you can safely loot the chests, and no pigs will ever come up here and automatically funnel into the hole. That about does it for the conclusions I have with this route, but just to get some discussion started, I want to show some ideas that I have and possible improvements that people can experiment with. You might realize that there's almost always at least one piglin down here trying to get up, and I really tried to find a good way to have these guys come up here into the trading hole, but any effort that I put into it just didn't work out. The fastest solution that I found was by going down here, doing the usual stuff, placing a block here, and then starting the route. You'd be surprised, but this actually does allow pigs to come up, and it still isn't worth it. And besides, with this exact configuration, sometimes the pigs will get stuck just like this and won't be able to come up at all. The next best solution that I had was to keep this block here, break this one, but as I said before, it was just never worth it. There's almost always just going to be one pig down there, and the diminishing returns are pretty bad. You already make up more than enough time over autofunnel if you do it quick enough, so this little guy will just have to stay down here and be mad. Another benefit of the normal autofunnel is being able to get your pie chart ready while funneling the pigs in. With this trading hole though, there happens to be a chunk border to the right or to the left of you as you're throwing the gold. I haven't tested if this is useful or not, or if it's even possible to pie chart fast enough while throwing gold, but I figured I'd point it out for anyone willing to give it a try. Lastly, I haven't seen anyone talk about these backup blocks in the hallway, but it just so happens that in that same spot where you're throwing gold, if you build up to, they're right there. With how useful gold picks are in the late game, grabbing one quickly before you leave the Bastion could be worth it. If nothing else, it's a nice way to get extra gold for trading without having to backtrack. I had even thought about using this gold to anger the triple chest pigs, but not only are these not guaranteed to be here, but it kind of defeats the purpose of the route by taking extra time to get your trade started. To be completely honest, this trading hole is so simple that I find it hard to imagine it's been completely ignored for over 5 years. Personally, I don't even feel comfortable claiming that I found it. If there's anyone who knows of this being recently used, or even discussions around it, please let me know so I can give the proper credit. In case this is already being used and I'm just being dumb, I wanted this video to be more than just a showcase, so I hope you were able to get something out of it either way. I'll be working a bit more on that beginner route that I mentioned, and I'll upload a tutorial once it's finished. But in the meantime, feel free to ask any questions in the comments and theorize about what else could be possible on Bridge. I'm of the belief that we have a longer ways to go than we might imagine for Bastion routes. See ya!